Hey man, say man, welcome back to the Moving on Purpose podcast. I am Cooley.
Your boy Stu.
And we back for episode 19, man. For all you all, it's your first time joining us. We appreciate you. For all of you that's been with us since episode 1, welcome to episode 19. We just chopping wood and carrying water and stacking episodes.
Stacking them up.
So today's episode, we got June is Men's Mental Health Awareness, right? And then we also have Father's Day coming up in a couple of weeks, right? So we want to pay homage to the dads. We want to pay homage to the men who have been in fatherly roles and the ones that stepped up for kids that weren't actually theirs. And this episode is entitled The Men Who Showed Up, Father's Day, Mentorship, and Men's Mental Health. So let's talk about what boys learn from men real quick. What do boys learn from men? One thing I think that we've gotten wrong for generations is teaching boys how to be tough without teaching them how to be healthy with their emotions. What you think, Stu?
No, I agree. The old school way of thinking is, suck it up, pause, don't cry. I hit the pause, man, right after. Here you go, man. But,
I'm listening to you.
Toughen up. Don't cry about it. Don't complain. Nobody really cares. That type of mentality for at least boys becoming young men.
Yeah.
It's not cool to cry. It's not cool to express your feelings. It's not cool to have a bad day.
It's not cool to have something wrong with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Toughen up. There's really nothing wrong with you, so.
And I think there's a fine line that you have to walk with young men when you're teaching them that, right? Mm-hmm. And I do it with my son, too. It's like, all right, son, are you hurt or you injured? If you hurt, let's go ahead. You got every right to feel the pain that you feel, but it only lasts, it's temporary. It only lasts for a little while, right? If you're injured, all right, we need to take you and go get you looked at. We need to take you to the doctor, whatever, take you out the game, whatever's going on that you're injured with. But a lot of time kids don't know the difference between being hurt and injured. Everything is injured. Everything is I need an ambulance. Everything I need mama to come and save me. I need somebody to put a Band-Aid on it and hug me, and that's not necessarily the case, right? Mm-hmm. So really it's just about them learning through trial and error, learning through falling, bumping their knee, bumping their head on when it's a hurt and when it's being injured, right? But I think the mistake that we've made as men, because I know the way I was raised is just being around men, just stop being a punk. Stop all that crying. And if you ask for help.
You gotta learn to cope. Move on and kind of bottle it up.
And if you ask for help, it was shown as a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
When in reality, there's nothing wrong with.
It's human. You need help. You need to figure out. You need to vent. You need to. Let me ask you this: since you stated the way you grew up was kind of mask it and kind of ignore it, when did you start taking mental health serious? At what age would you say?
I'm embarrassed to say that I didn't start taking it serious until I started my career.
What you embarrassed about? It's a safe place. So.
But what I'm saying, like, I wish I would have known. I thought I was educated enough to understand it a little bit. I mean, I knew the importance of not letting my emotions get the best of me and not letting my emotions control me.
Yeah.
Right. In certain situations, because that can have you ended up in a bad place. But it wasn't until I went into law enforcement where I got a psychological evaluation, one, and then we have psychology services, psych services that's provided for us for free. Yeah. And you're encouraged to go. You have peer support that you're encouraged to utilize. And even though I still knew that those were available, I still didn't use them when I first started off in my career.
Right.
And it wasn't until I came across a couple of really traumatic calls that kind of stuck with me after I left the call for a couple of days that I was like, you know what, I
need to see about
just
this.
Going to the gym and taking a day off and really, hitting hard in the gym may not be enough. I might need
temporary
to talk to somebody.
fix. Let me try to.
Okay. But we're gonna dive into it in detail and really get into the importance of mental health with us and the importance of mental health with our sons and with youth, as well as touching on fatherhood a little bit more. But let's first before we get too serious, man, you know these Space Jams you got on over there, man.
Man, some
little jaywalking going on.
Jordan
over there,
9s, man. You know, just little. I keep it simple every week, man. Try Jordan 9s. You know, I know you gonna bring some fire out, so I just try to stay mellow.
Man, them good, dog. Them good. I like those. So I
appreciate it.
Fun fact: never had. Well, I can't say never. My mom never bought me a pair of Jordans growing up. I watched other kids with them. My neighbor had every pair that came out. My friend that I grew up with. My godmother, Sharonda, bought me one pair when I was in first grade, and it was dope. Bro, I wore them shoes until my toe came out the top. And I remember just looking at them and being so excited about having them. I would go to recess and play, and the teacher would be like, Jeremy, you need to come inside. I was like, no, I gotta clean these off. I gotta clean these off. I didn't got sand on these. These ain't the Payless shoes I'm used to wearing. Yeah. So them clean, dog. I'm waiting on them to come. I want those when they come back out. And I want the Jesus Shuttlesworth. I want those too. It's like the same colorway. The He Got Game joints.
What you got on though? That's
these
the
just some threes, man. What's it called?
He got so many shoes he forget what they are.
World's Best Dad. Okay. So I figured it was
for the
fitting.
episode.
I figured it was fitting.
All right.
These are some threes that came out not too long ago, man. Threes are very comfortable if y'all don't know. And I got the shirt to match. It's like Dad. Cause that's what I am, and I take it with pride. But yeah, man, they dope. They Jordan never wore them, and most of the time I try not to get those colorways that MJ didn't wear, but they just kind of stuck out to me. How many times do they? What do we say off camera? We ain't see too many commercials.
Nah, for
you ain't see too many promotions.
Not
too
for
many
Father's
sales Day. For what?
Not for Father's Day.
Not for Father's Day, right?
We don't get fathers out there. Don't get that same love that Mother's Day gets.
Drawers might go on sale. Socks, ties, maybe.
No, the things that go on sale, the things to help others.
Absolutely.
Tools, barbecue to cook for other people. Like I don't want none of that.
Lawnmowers, weed eaters.
Give me a ticket and a trip away from everything. Let me get a break. That's Father's Day for me.
So when I saw him, I'm getting my Father's Day present early. Yo, get my stuff, man. All right, so let's move on, man, to Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, right? What are men carrying that nobody sees?
Shit, providing financial.
Some of those things that you think that they dealing with that they don't really talk about. They just expected to figure it out.
Well, I mean, they don't really talk about it because they program for that to be regular. Like as a man, you're supposed to do those things. But even though you're supposed to do those things or you maintain and you do what you're supposed to do, it still weighs on you. You know, it could drain you, it could get tiring, it could get stressful. So yeah, I mean, at times you do want a break, but even when you're tired, you still gotta go to work. Even when you're tired, you still gotta be a dad, you still gotta be a husband, you still gotta be a sibling, you still gotta be be there for your parents, your grandparents, whatever it is. Everybody, no matter what, is going to call you for something, no matter what you're going through.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the things that women do better than men is communicate how they feel.
Sometimes.
Yeah, you're right. Depending on the woman.
Sometimes.
But there are a lot of women out there that, of course, they're going to have more emotions than us because they have more hormones than us. It's just science. Right. We're not saying that y'all tripping. But my wife does a very good job of communicating how she feels when she has a good day, when she has a bad day, excited, sad, mad, disappointed. I struggle with understanding that I'm supposed to do the same thing. Because in my mind, if I am working through some things in my head, I don't feel like my wife want to hear me come home. Oh, man, I'm just really.
Yeah.
Today was a hard day. I'm just so stressed. I just don't know how I'm going to do this and don't. What woman want to hear that? You know what I'm saying? No. And then I feel like if you come home and you ain't holding it together, your kid's going to pick up on that. Yep. And then if you ain't keeping it even keel, if you ain't staying solid, if you ain't being that rock.
Whole household under emotional distress.
So that's kind of it's a double-edged sword, a tricky place for men to be because while this is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, we want to encourage you all to talk to somebody.
Speak about your problems, talk about it.
You don't have to come home and complain to your wife. You don't have to come home and complain because your partners ain't gonna want to hear that either when you call.
I mean, you got resources where
you do have resources.
You can find a therapist or somebody to talk to. If you got good friends and partners or whatever, you got at least a friend or two that can listen, give you some good advice. And if you don't, you need to get better friends in your circle around you.
Yeah.
You know, that will take that type of stuff. That's
therapy.
important. And sometimes you got to set the tone. If you don't have that in your circle, you got to be that one to let the people in your circle know that's okay. Because if you start it, then everybody else might, follow along too.
Yeah, you're right. And letting them know it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
If you got a small circle, you should be able to be vulnerable. Not like, oh man, but you should be able to like, hey man,
be able to have a man to man.
I'm going through it right now, man. What's your advice on how I should go without being judged, right?
Yeah.
But like I said, we've said on several occasions on different episodes, I'm an advocate for therapy, man. That mental maintenance is very important. Right. I had a virtual therapy session, and my therapist is very good, and I always feel like I have a good perspective going into it when I leave, but like she'll point out things that I need to work on between now and the next time that I see her at home, at work, like taking care of myself, making time to rest. It's just that accountability, that mental accountability that I need.
Right.
So you got to find the right match. Everybody ain't for everybody, right? But definitely, like, get out of that stigma that we grew up with, that was a sign of weakness to go and talk to somebody about, what you're going through, right? So, and because a lot of men are drowning quietly, and what I mean by that is just because you have a friend that everybody goes to for advice, don't mean that person ain't going through something.
Yeah.
You ever heard somebody say, check on your strong friends too?
Yeah. You just never know what somebody's going through.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how well they keep it together, you just never know what they're dealing with.
So what do you think the main reason is the setback and the hesitancy behind men not wanting to open up?
Being judged. They don't want to be judged. That's the main thing. A sign of weakness, like you stated. But, just being judged in society as weak. Men don't need, men shouldn't complain.
Yeah.
Men can't have bad days or don't go through anything, toughen it out, figure it out. You can complain, but nobody's going to listen type of thing. So, have
you ever come across anybody, like, personally, like, before you came and went into law enforcement, like, with friends, coaches, relatives, cousins that have dealt with depression and dealt with, like, mental health issues, and they may have struggled, or some of them may not have made it out or made it through it?
Yeah. I know some athletes that have gone through, like, mental health, even though it might seem like they have everything. They're human. They have problems in their lifestyle, whether it's family stuff or, personal insecurities and stuff like that. You see it a lot with athletes. You see it to it day to day, with some of your friends or family, and you just try to be there and support them as best as you can.
I agree, man. I tell you about the girl that from middle school the importance of listening. So I had a friend when I was in middle school. Her name was Ashley, and little Hispanic girl. I'm in like 6th grade, and I just remember sitting in class next to her, and I just observing, and I would walk her from class to class because she was cool. We chop it up and laugh. Well, I remember one day her sweater came up and she had cuts on her arm, and I was like, "What's that?" She was like, "Oh, no, nothing." I say, "Man, come on, like, we supposed to be cool. What's going on?" "Oh, my dad, was abusing my mom, and I just don't know how to deal with it, so I do this to deal with the pain." And, sometimes I think about, like, killing myself. I'm like, whoa, 6th grade, it's heavy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's heavier than my backpack, right? So you don't have to have all the answers, because I didn't in 6th grade, but I was a consistent outlet for her to come and just talk. So I would always check in with her. Hey, how's everything going? How you feeling? How you doing today, right? And she was like, I'm good. And then I say, look, you better than that. Like, just keep going to sleep and waking up. Just keep waking up, opening your eyes, and it's an opportunity for the day to be better than it was the day before. And so then it went from that to me walking her home, and eventually those healed. I stopped seeing them, and then she stopped doing it. But it just, I guess, what she may not have been getting at home, as far as somebody just listening to her and her trying to, work through what she's dealing with, seeing grown-ups going through it, and her in her teenage mind, she just needs somebody to be there for her and listen. So sometimes it's just that easy, man. You don't have to have the answers. You don't have to be a therapist or be a professional. Just listen. And sometimes, most of the time, people don't want you to give them a solution. They just need They want to
vent. They want to get
it out.
They
need an ear. They need an ear. So let's jump into this video reaction real quick, man.
We got
shit.
Oh, I seen this episode. Yeah.
Quit yelling at your kids before they go to bed and expect them to sleep well. Quit yelling at your kids in the morning right after they wake up for school and expect them to have a good day. You set the tone for your children. You set the tone for your voice. They will always remember in their heads. You become the inner voice. Don't be the inner critic. Speak life, speak love, speak bravery, kindness and hope. Speak wisdom, the truth. Most of all, listen to your children.
I wish I could have had a funny one for you, man. But
no. We good. I mean, that's a good one though, because
just
him reading that information on that podcast or that that platform, you can see how passionate and how it affected him emotionally. And it's true. Like, stop coming at your kids a certain way, because those are the negative things that they're gonna remember as well. So you got to just feed positivity in them, encourage them, motivate them, joke with them. Like you said, listen to your kids, because they will tell you, what's going on. But you got to listen. We can't get so caught up as adults at work and all the things that we got to manage. We have to make that time to just listen. Like you said, you just at sixth grade, you knew how to listen. You know much to say, but you knew how to listen, and that's how you develop certain things as you grew up.
Yeah, and one of the other things that he said that popped in my head that caught my ear was, you remember The Lion King when Mufasa passed away, and he would hear him talking to him. He could still hear his voice.
Inner voice.
He just said, you gotta remember, your voice is what they're gonna hear when you're not around. Yeah. Don't let it be a voice of talking down to them. Let it be a voice of screaming at them and being short and being irritated. Let it be a voice of encouragement, be a voice of positivity. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they're going to remember. Yep. And that's what you want them to remember. So when they are met with adversity, they can remember those little sayings. I know my kids get tired of me because I don't let them say they can't do something.
Right.
They be like, I can't. I say, can't, never could do anything. Yeah. So don't tell me what you can't do. It sounds like you need some help. It's a problem. Let's find a solution. Way, though. That's right. And I know I just drill it and drill it and drill it. I know they be like, Daddy, I understand. But it's going to be a time when I'm not in the room, I'm not around, or I'm not even on this earth.
Your inner voice will not allow them to doubt themselves.
I hope not, man. That's my goal as their dad, is so that they know that they're loved. I try and show my daughters what love looks like with their mom. I try and show them what love looks like when I'm with them, as far as treating them like a gentleman and not cussing at them and stuff like that. And then, just like you said, building that inner confidence, that bank, like TJ said, so that they can go and get those deposits from it when they need it.
Absolutely.
All right. So the example we set, right? So our kids aren't watching how much we work. They see you go and they see you come. And they can see when you're tired, right? But they're watching how you handle stress. They're paying attention to that. Do you crash out? Do you go to the bottle? Do you lash out? Do you shut down? Do you, it's just too much right now. I don't want to talk to y'all. Okay, so this is what I do when I get older and I come home from work and I'm tired. This is okay. Yeah. Because that's what Daddy does,
Yeah, I mean, that's their first examples of how they see and how to, deal with things. It's their parents. Yeah. So, you are a role model. Regardless of what you think, you have to come in and you might want to act one way, but you got to keep your composure. Can't crash out. Handle it the way that somebody's watching. You got kids, somebody's always watching.
Always listening.
Watching,
always
listening.
Always watching, man.
Everything. So you just got to set the best example you can. And even if you didn't have good examples from your parents or whatnot, there's too many resources now, too many books out there, too many podcasts, informational stuff where you can learn and you can still grow 1% and get better daily.
I agree.
So
if you
it's
think
not an excuse.
If you see somebody, I can't stand people who litter. That's the most trifling shit you can do. It's throwing shit in the street, right? But if you see a kid litter, they didn't learn that just by themselves.
Yeah,
they saw that at home, or they saw that in their environment, right?
Yep.
And so if my kid, they know if you fix your hand to throw something down, I'm like, I know you not finna throw nothing on the ground when there's trash cans everywhere, or you hold on to it and put it in your pocket until you get to the trash. Like respect the environment, respect where you live, because if you don't, why would anybody else? True. Then we're gonna be picking up trash, like walking over trash everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So if they pick up something as small as littering, please believe
they're
picking up
everything
else: the cussing, the drinking, the gambling, the smoking, the yelling, all that. So just be aware, man.
All the habits and addictions.
Be conscious. So, Stu, what's one thing you've learned in law enforcement about men's mental health that every father, coach, and mentor should hear?
Just learn how to de-escalate. De-escalate situations with mental health. Regardless if you are man or female, you can have a bad day. You can have a bad mental day. You can crash out. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means your emotions caught you at a time where you could not control the reaction. So I think if you just learn coping mechanisms within that moment, take deep breaths, be able to vent, talk to somebody, take a walk, whatever works for you. You got to figure out what is the formula to decompress daily, because you got to decompress daily. Every day you're going to wake up and have something to handle, and every day is not going to be the same. So having methods where you can meditate, decompress, talk to somebody, things like that. I feel like you need outlets, not just in our career path in law enforcement, but for everybody in any field. You need to learn how to have outlets to where you're not just focused on work or, giving hypertension on just one thing that's stressing you out, but have outlets, have different ways to vent, cope, and get through stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. You learn that quick. But the thing I learned, unfortunately, is the people who are always there when other people are going through things to know what to say, to encourage them, to give the best advice, are also dealing with stuff.
Yeah.
And
check on them.
A lot of times people assume that because they're able to give this advice to everybody else that they're not going through things. And unfortunately, when I was at Fundring, when I was training there was a sergeant there who was one of the coolest sergeants ever. He was the field training sergeant. I always looked out for everybody. Everybody knew him. And I was surprised and in shock. Everybody that worked at that station was in shock when we found out that he committed suicide. He had been involved in several shootings on duty. And then he may have been dealing with some things with his marriage, but we never expected that.
He kept it together.
He had his daughters. He was proud. He had his grandbabies.
Yeah.
And then gone. And so we were all at the funeral, like looking at each other, like, not him.
Yeah.
He was the one that everybody went to, when we was going through stuff, or when we needed advice, and when we needed somebody to look out for us. And so it really just it hit home.
You just never know.
It hit home, man. So I found this quote. I've learned that the strongest men aren't the ones who never struggle. They're the ones who are willing to talk before the struggle becomes a crisis. Just because somebody isn't showing on the exterior that they're going through something doesn't mean that they're going through something. I get on the elevator sometime and I just be looking at people like, man, everybody dealing with their own issues, and they coming to work and putting on the face for 8 hours, and then they got to go home back.
Everybody deals with a certain amount of levels of stress differently. So you can handle it better than I could, or vice versa, or just the people in your life. You just never know. So the best thing to do, and the most simplest thing to do, is just check on people. Yeah. It doesn't take long. It's a simple message, a simple phone call. Hey, how you doing? How's your mental? What's your mental health check-in?
I do that.
Talk to me.
Yeah.
You good? Like, just simple. It don't take a lot out your time, and it goes a long way. But then you build that rapport for somebody to be like, it's okay to talk about it, And you might spark that in that person now to check on their tree of people, and it just spreads. You got to spread love and spread care and support in different ways.
I would encourage this too. You know your friends.
Yeah.
You know your friends that's going to say they're good even when they're not good. Sometimes you got to put eyes on people.
Somebody saying I'm good doesn't mean necessarily they're good. That's a basic answer just to deflect what's really going on.
Sometimes you got to put eyes on people, and when you get them out of their element where they can just hide on the other side of the phone and you can't see their body language, and you get them in front of you for lunch or breakfast or dinner or whatever,
they'll eventually talk. If you continue to ask, they'll eventually talk to you.
Yeah.
But you can't just once or twice and just be like, you good? All right, cool. Move on. You got to continue that. You got to be consistent. Like, you got to check on your people.
If I see something that don't like, you know, if I talk to you and I hear something,
you can hear the
circle the block and
their
come
body
back.
language. Like it's different things if you pay attention. Yeah. People will let you know in different ways what they're struggling with. Yep. So,
just don't be afraid to ask for help, man. There's nothing wrong with it. All right. So as we get ready to wrap this up, as Father's Day approaches, we celebrate the fathers, the coaches, teachers, mentors, and men who continue to show up. And if you're carrying something heavy right now, understand this. You don't have to carry it alone. Asking for help isn't weakness, it's strength, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in with us. Episode 19 of the Moving On Purpose podcast. If you haven't already, click the like, click the subscribe, comment, give us a topic that you may want us to talk about, because one of our episodes was based off a comment that somebody made, man. So we definitely appreciate y'all rocking with us. And we just hit 500 on Instagram, too.
We moving on up, man. We moving on up.
Hey, little wins.
All the
keep
wins
stacking.
Celebrating.
Keep stacking. Because a year ago, we had 1 follower. 2 followers. It was me, you, and 3. Me, you, and Christian.
Hey, man. We came a long way in a short period of time. Let's keep growing.
Let's keep doing, man.
Happy
Appreciate
Father's
y'all.
Day,
Happy
Mental
Father's
Health
Day.
Month, and let's get it. Appreciate
For sure,
y'all.
man. Don't wear all your socks and drawers at once.
Man, don't mind him, man. Cut, man.